All right, it's time. It's time to get into the review of my Beta 480 RR 2024 model. I've had this thing for almost 2 years now, and in that time I've put about 3,000 kilometers on it. I've taken it on a whole bunch of different rides, single day rides, enduro, dual sport, leaning into the adventure sort of stuff. No camping off this bike, but I did do a few adventures between hotels, pub stays, things like that. So let's get into this review. We'll get into the nitty gritty, the good, the bad, the ugly, why I bought this thing, how it's going over the last 2 years. Would I buy another one? And should all you look at Beta if you're looking to get your next dirt bike, your next lightweight adventure bike? Let's get into this one. But just quickly before we dive into this review, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Josh and this channel is all about motorcycle adventure, the bikes like this, rides like the one that I'm currently doing or just finished, reviews, tips and tricks, all that good stuff right there. So if any of that interests you, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love for you to stick around, join the Two Wheel Adventure crew. If you want to support the channel in a more direct way, jump down in the video's description. You can go and get some merch there, get a GPX file, head out on your own adventure. You can become a YouTube member if you want to get early access to any videos just like this, and also check out all the partners that I've got down below in the video's description, because they're the ones that keep all these videos coming to you guys each and every week, or at least every week that I can get to one. But with all that out of the way, let's jump into why I bought this bike in the first place. Now, 2 years ago, I obviously started looking for pretty much a dirt bike. I wanted to get a lightweight adventure bike, or basically just a dirt bike, something that I could tow to trails just like this, on the trailer, on the ute, whatever I got to do. Tow it there, ride around for a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever it may be, put it back on the trailer and head back home. So it was to be a completely off-road bike. It wasn't to get it to do massive kilometers in a day and try and cover heaps of ground in the outback. It wasn't designed for that. So I was pretty much looking around the 500cc mark. So obviously I've landed on the Beta 480 RR 2024 model. I've given that away already, but when I was looking, obviously I'm looking at bikes like the KTM 500 EXC, you've got the Husky 500 as well. There was also the Sherco 500 that I did look at seriously. But with all those bikes being in the mix, the main reason, or two main reasons why I ended up on the Beta, one being the price. This was a run out model, the 2025s had just come out, so I got this thing for, I think it was 12,800, 12,900, something like that. An absolutely awesome deal, because the 2025s, when they first come out, I think they were around 16 grand. And I think the 26s or 27s, of these might even be up around 17, 18. I actually haven't checked. So I got an awesome deal with this. And the second reason is that I like to create content around adventure bikes, dirt bikes, all this kind of stuff. And I wanted to be different. I wanted a point of difference. Everyone's done the KTM 500s, the Husky 500s to death. So I wanted to try something different. That's why I looked at the Sherco initially, but it was a lot more expensive. So I went with the Beta. And then once I researched it a little bit more, obviously the price was going to be good, because it has two separate oil carrying reservoirs, I guess. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It skips my brain right now. But anyway, it's got two separate oil carrying sections for the gearbox and the engine. So 750 mils in each when you just do your regular servicing. So about 1.5 litres of oil in that. And that ideally should mean that I can stretch the service intervals out on this bike when you compare it to the KTM or the Husky, at least from stock. I can't remember exactly how much oil those things hold, but having the two separate sections for the gearbox and the engine was one of the main reasons why I went with that. So when I bought the bike 2 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot of information online to go with. There wasn't YouTube videos on the bike really. So I knew I was just going to have to wing it, and I'd be the one to figure out what kind of works for this bike in the way of a lightweight adventure setup. Initially I just rode it like a dirt bike, enduro days, things like that, just to get a feel for the bike. But straight out of the gate, I knew I needed a larger fuel tank, which there is one on there. It's 12.8 litres over the original 9, I think. So it's just enough for me. I don't want to go overboard with this bike. As I said, it's not an outback bike. If I was to do a trip like that, well, I'd have to try and carry some fuel bladders, or maybe try and get a bigger tank. But as it is right now, it's perfect. I get around about, I think 230 kilometers is the most I've done. Don't quote me, I'll put it on the screen if it's different, but I did do a ride down in the deserts in West Victoria, and that was a lot of sand, and I think I did almost 230 Ks on 1 tank. So I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So a pretty decent fuel range for a bike like this. I'm not looking to push too far. If I need to do more, I'll carry a fuel bladder, etc, etc. But as you can see behind me, there's a whole bunch of other bits and pieces on this bike. I will put a link down below to the build videos of this bike if you want to go back and see what I've actually put on it. But overall, there's not really a whole lot I had to do to this thing to get it to where I wanted it to be. Obviously the major things, like I just mentioned, is the fuel tank slightly larger to get a little bit further. I wanted to be able to carry some luggage on the back, nothing too crazy, but enough to carry the essentials for a day ride, some tools, some spares, some snacks, camera gear, all that stuff. And then the possibility to go a little bit larger if I want to do multi-day rides to hotels, pubs, things like that. I can put some clothes in there and away I go. But everything else, it's mainly aimed at protecting the bike. Bash plate, radiator guards, I've got hand guards up there with the bark busters, whole range of bits and pieces. As I said, I'll probably forget some stuff. Go and check out the build videos, but I will make mention, Krieger, if you want some Krieger gear like this for their dirt bike base or any other bikes, I do have a link down below, and you can save yourself some money with use my discount code. It's active until the end of this month, June, so be quick, don't miss out on that one. And also my bar bag, ECIN Bar Bag up there, that thing's unreal. I have a link to that as well if you want to go and check that out. Cheeky plug for those guys, they support me, so I figured I'd throw it in there anyway. Back to the bike, as I said at the start of the video, I've done about 3,000 kilometers on this bike. Now it's my first dirt bike lightweight adventure setup. I've had obviously other dual sport kind of bikes that are a little bit bigger than this, a little bit heavier, so I'm not sure if 3,000 kilometers for people that go and just do enduro rides all the time is a lot in 2 years. Obviously I'm pretty lucky and I get to ride other bikes throughout the year if I get to test bikes from other companies, so I haven't ridden it as much as I obviously would if this was my only bike. But 3,000 kilometers, I have done absolutely nothing but regular servicing, changing oils, changing filters, everything like that, the coolant. I haven't even changed the sprockets, the chain, nothing. I've done nothing else apart from regular servicing, and I haven't had a single issue with this bike, touch wood. There's no wood anywhere. We'll see how I go tomorrow. Hopefully I haven't jinxed myself when I head out tomorrow on about 200 kilometer ride on this bike. But apart from that, I haven't done anything. Regular servicing, change the tires, keep all the fluids topped up and changed regularly. And this bike has performed absolutely amazing. Apart from a few flat batteries, which is my fault, not keeping it topped up in the garage, but it's a lithium battery anyway, so it's been okay to just charge back up and away I go. So nothing to mention on the way of faults or breakages or anything like that. There's nothing that I've had to replace. The only thing that I found online in researching the bike before I got it or when I got it, other people said the thing that they had to do was change the oil pump gears. Now they're plastic apparently. You can buy some metal, I'm not exactly sure what steel they're made of, but some metal replacement ones to be a bit stronger than the plastic gears. I haven't done that yet. Touch wood, as I said, nothing happens for me tomorrow, but I haven't needed to do that. I think most people say they do it around the 90-hour mark-ish. I'll have to check how many hours I'm on, but I'm probably a little bit over that. So from a reliability standpoint, this bike's been absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10, not an issue to talk about. But let's talk about the engine and the gearbox of this bike. Obviously, my knowledge of dirt bikes, lightweight adventure bikes, is pretty limited. This is really the only one I've had. I haven't ridden dirt bikes since I was in my early 20s. Some 450s and things like that, so proper enduro bikes like this, very limited knowledge. But the power on this thing, for me, absolutely unreal. There's so much power on this thing. I would never get the most out of it. I would assume most average riders won't. Any 500cc or 480cc bike is going to have enough power on tap for most riders, unless you're a pro and you're going to put this thing on the limiter all the time. Most of us regular folk are going to be absolutely fine with the amount of power this thing has. As for the gearing, for the riding I do, absolutely perfect. Dual sport riding, open trails, flowy kind of trails. This thing just lugs along perfectly. Second, third gear, absolutely perfect. You can be cruising along in low revs, you come across a hill climb, just twist that throttle. You'll have enough power to get up absolutely anything if you're ready for it. Now, I just spent about 3 or 4 hours out here this afternoon on some pretty snotty trails. I did end up on some single track as well. So is this bike designed for single track? No, it's not. If you're going to do single track all the time, that's what you want out of a bike with crazy hill climbs, single track, the really hard enduro type stuff. You're not going to be looking at a Beta 480. You'll be looking at something a little bit less on the engine side, maybe a 350 or a two-stroke 300, 250, whatever's out there. this bike can do it 100%. If you're like me and most of your rides are dual sport rides, open flowy trails, you come across a single track to link some stuff up, there's a hard section that you've got to get through, this bike will chug through absolutely fine. But if you're in the really snotty stuff and you got to go slow and pop over logs and you're doing that all day, you're not going to want to be on this bike unless you change the gearing or something like that. You'll be looking at a completely different bike altogether. And then lastly, when this thing gets out on the open road, those open dirt roads, you want to do 80, 90, 100 kilometers an hour, even on road as well. I have had this thing on road a few times just to link up trails or get to the town that I'm staying in, everything like that. Not a whole lot of time on road, but this thing will sit on 100 kilometers an hour, not a problem at all. Is it comfortable? No. There's a lot other more comfortable bikes for the job, but if you're just looking for a dual sport ride, which is 90% off-road, you only need to hit the tar to link up a few trails or get back into town or back to your car like I am today, it'll do it just fine. It's geared well enough that you can sit on 100 kilometers an hour in 6th gear, and it doesn't sound like it's over revving too much at all. So in that sense, it covers a broad spectrum with the gearing. For me, it's almost ideal. I wish it was a little bit more down low on some of the steeper stuff, but overall I can't really complain. I don't think I would change it for the riding that I do. Well, the joys of filming out on the trails. The camera decided to not work for me for the last bit of filming, but I don't really have a whole lot left to say about the bike here. I've just got it back and fully cleaned all the mud off it, but I used all the traction control modes. So there's only two, obviously, full power and a dulled down version, rain mode, I guess you can call it, but I always leave it in the full power mode. I think most riders will. You don't really need to dial it back. The way this power comes on, and as long as you're not crazy with the throttle, you'll be just fine. So there's not a whole lot to talk about with the traction control modes. But yeah, as I've already said, reliability, absolutely amazing. Haven't had a single issue with this bike. It really is hard for me to find some negatives about this thing, but one thing that I do not quite like, it's not the end of the world, but the side stand, I find that it's too short. So out on the trails, try and chuck the stand down on flat ground and it leans over a fair bit. So if you do find ground that's leaning a little bit further down where you're putting the stand, the bike can lean over a fair way, and if the ground's soft, it'll dig in. So that can be a little bit of a pain, not the end of the world, obviously. But other than that, there's not a whole lot really to talk about in the way of negatives. I've absolutely loved my time with this bike. I haven't had to fiddle around with it to get it to work how I want. It's just out of the box, it's really done everything that I need it to do. So I think it's an absolutely great option if you're looking for a lightweight adventure bike, or even if you're just looking to keep it as a stock dirt bike and get out and ride some trails. It's an absolute ball of fun. So cannot speak highly enough of my experience with the Beta 480 RR 2024 model. I assume the more recent newer models, 26, 27, are going to be very similar. So if you're in the market for one, I'd say definitely check out Beta before you go and buy a bike. Whether you buy one or not, it's up to you, but I'd definitely have a look at them before you make your mind up. And one other thing I'll quickly mention is the seat. If you are looking to ride this thing as more of an adventure bike and you want to sit down a lot, I find the seat to be actually pretty comfy for a dirt bike. I haven't had the need to change it, whether or not that's because of the riding I like to do and I'm up on my feet a lot of the time, but even sitting down on this thing, I've never had an issue. For a dirt bike seat, it's actually really, really comfy. But that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the 2024 Beta 480 RR after having it for 2 years, 3,000 kilometers. Absolutely amazing. Cannot speak highly enough of it. Not really many complaints at all. So I really hope you all enjoyed that video. Hopefully that answers some of your questions if you're looking into Beta for your next bike. But if you do have any other questions for me about the bike, let me know down below in the comments. I'll try and read all of them and get back to as many as I can if I can answer them. If not, I'll try and find the answer to help all you out. But I really appreciate all of you sticking around to this part of the video. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button before you go. It really helps the channel grow and I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Two Wheel Adventure crew. I'd love for you to stick around, and check all the links down below if you want to support the channel in a more direct way. You can get some merch there, just like this right here. I've designed a couple of new designs here, TWAC, Two Wheel Adventure Crew, and we've got that there on the back if you can see that. So I've got that in a hoodie version as well. There's a couple of other designs on the website there. So if you want to go and check all those out, I appreciate that. You can also become a YouTube member if you want to get early access to any of these videos. And you can also grab a GPX file for any of my adventures and head out on your own adventure. And also don't forget to show some love to all the channel partners that keep these videos coming each and every week. They're down below in the video's description. There's some discount codes there, affiliate links if you want to go save yourself some money on some quality products. So thanks as always for watching. Make sure you ride safe on your own two-wheel adventures. See you in the next video.